Welcome back. All right, in today's explainer, we are tackling one of the absolute biggest, most anxiety inducing headaches managers face on a regular basis. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? The dreaded raise request. We've all been there. An employee knocks on your door, sits down, and asks for more money. And look, if you don't have a solid plan, that conversation, it can go sideways real fast. So, our guide for solving this today is this fantastic source text titled W17L2 Strategic Structures for Employee Performance Compensation. Honestly, it is going to completely transform how you handle pay increases. So here's the game plan for this lesson in a nutshell. We are moving away from those purely emotional, spur-of-the-moment raises and shifting to highly strategic ones. We'll do this by defining very specific triggers, establishing proven structures, and finally implementing a concrete math-based raise plan. Think of it as your roadmap out of reactive HR chaos and into proactive strategic clarity. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Emotional versus Strategic Raises, Rethinking Compensation. Our source text establishes a rock-solid rule right out of the gate here. Raises should absolutely never be random, and they shouldn't be emotional. Just think about the sheer stress of a random raise for a second. Someone threatens to quit, or maybe they have a personal financial issue, or hey, maybe you're just in a genuinely great mood one Friday afternoon, and suddenly, boom, payroll goes up. It's totally arbitrary, and frankly, it's terrible for business morale because nobody else on the team knows the rules of the game. So, the ultra-realistic alternative to all this chaos is tying pay bumps strictly to concrete performance and employee loyalty. When raises are built on those two pillars, you remove the emotion entirely. It just becomes a simple, objective business transaction based on the actual tangible value that employees bring to the floor. Which brings us to Section 2, Triggers for Pay Increases, Knowing When to Reward. So if we aren't handing out raises based on feelings or random requests, what exactly are we giving them for? Well, the source material breaks these raise triggers down into 5 very specific categories. First up is attendance reliability. Honestly, just showing up on time consistently is a completely rewardable metric. Next is client feedback. I mean, if the people actually paying your business are singing an employee's praises, that is a massive trigger. Then we have skill improvement, which just shows the employee is actively leveling up at their core tasks. The fourth piece of the pie is certifications. This represents a formal, recognized boost in their abilities. And finally, longevity. This is a measure of that loyalty we were just talking about. Sticking with a company over the long haul adds deep, deep institutional value. Hitting any of these tangible goals in a realistic business environment, that is what truly earns a pay bump. But before we move on, I want you to ask yourself a serious question. Which of these triggers are you currently tracking? Really think about it. If an employee walked in and asked for a raise today, right now, could you easily pull up data on their attendance, reliability, or their client feedback? Because if you aren't actively tracking these milestones, you literally can't accurately reward them. Section 3, Proven Raise Structures, Building the Framework. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how we transition from the why to the how. So we know the triggers. But how do we actually build a solid framework around them? Well, here are 4 proven structures from the text that genuinely work in practice. First, you've got the 90-day performance raise. This is fantastic because it catches new hires early and really rewards that initial momentum. Second, annual review raises. This gives you a reliable yearly cadence for evaluating that longevity and sustained performance we talked about. Third, skill-based raises. These are tied directly to an employee demonstrating a brand new capability that helps the business. And fourth, certification bonuses, a direct financial reward for completing formalized training. This list right here, it shouldn't just be abstract theory. It should act as a highly reliable, tangible blueprint sitting right there on your desk, ready to go. Section 4, the example raise plan, putting numbers to paper. It is one thing to talk about frameworks, but it's a whole different ballgame to actually do the math. Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds across an employee's journey. Let's imagine a brand new hire starting on day 1. We're going to follow their progress through 3 specific checkpoints from our structural framework: their 90-day performance check, their 1-year anniversary annual review, and a specific moment in time when they achieve a new certification. All right, so at that first 90-day mark, our text suggests a very specific incremental raise, exactly 50 cents an hour. Now, I know that might not seem massive, but that exact monetary value is incredibly strategic. It's a small, structured bump that keeps a new employee highly motivated right out of the gate. It essentially tells them, hey, we see you. You're hitting your attendance and your early skill triggers, and look, the system actually works. As we progress down the timeline to the 1-year mark, the example plan suggests a larger raise of plus $1. This specific dollar amount really steps up the financial commitment from the company, and it directly rewards the longevity trigger we discussed earlier. It says, you survived a year, you grew with us, and the structure steps in to reward that loyalty precisely. And finally, for a completed certification, the text recommends a jump of plus $1.50, and this brilliantly illustrates the high value of skill-based formal achievements. Notice this is the highest jump in our example plan, and that's because a new certification usually means the employee can take on entirely new levels of work. That directly increases their revenue-generating potential for the company. So the raise directly matches that significant boost in value. Section 5, Rewarding Consistency, Not Favoritism, the coaching insight. I want to shift gears here for just a second and step into the coach's corner, because the source text leaves us with a deeply important leadership takeaway that ties all of this math and structure together. So the crucial point is this: structure raises reward consistency, not favoritism. Just think about how powerful that is. When you have an open, math-based, timeline-driven plan, you completely eliminate workplace bias. You eliminate the intense anxiety of asking for a raise. And most importantly, you avoid the dreaded favoritism trap where employees think, Bob got a raise just because he plays golf with the boss. No, Bob got a raise because he hit his 90-day metric, achieved a certification, and had perfect attendance. It's consistent, it's fair, and it's 100% transparent. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. Take a hard look at your own operations today. Are your current raises actively rewarding consistency through a proven structure? Or are they just a symptom of emotional reactions and accidental favoritism? If it's the latter, it is definitely time to take the structures we explored today and implement them immediately. Build your triggers, set your timeline, and make compensation a clear, undeniable path to success for everyone on your team. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep building those systems.